Okay guys, so my hair's a mess, my eye is sagging, I've got saggy eye, it gets a little more closed when I am tired, and I am tired. I spent the week going back and forth between school, my current job, which my last day is on Sunday, my new job, which my first day is on Tuesday, and it's been a crazy week. It's Friday, it's coming to an end. I graduated this week. My last class at school was today. And as I said, my last day at my current job is Sunday. So thankfully tomorrow is a free day and I get to just relax and recuperate. But today in class was quite hilarious. I wanted to bring you up to speed because one of the other students, Bree, if you're watching, hello dear. We tried doing crocodile print, and it's not something that I've ever done before, but she wanted to do it on her nails. And I have experience with blooming gel, which is what you use to create a crocodile print, and we could not get it to work for the life of us. Ms. Andrea was trying it, our teacher. I was trying it, and like I said, I have experience with blooming gel while I haven't done crocodile print specifically. Figured it was pretty self-explanatory. So I decided, instead of doing my original video for today, which was going to be playing around more with acrylic and cutting shapes into acrylic and encapsulating them, I figured I would push that aside for now and get to practicing crocodile print. So that's what this video is going to be around. Stick around and watch. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, please hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you always know when new videos are available, but we're going to get right into it right now. So first we're going to start out with a background color, and I figured I'd go neutral with that for now. This is Prime, I believe, yes. And it is a very nice pale pink. And then I think I'm probably going to go with, need some contrast. So I don't know what other color I'm going to do on top. I'm going to have to figure that out. But I'm just going to do 2 pretty thin coats just to get a base layer. And then we're going to go into the actual process. Let me turn on my UV light. That might help just a bit. Then we're going to go in, maybe I'll do brown just to keep it in the neutral family. Then we're going to go into the process of using blooming gel and getting in that crocodile print. All right, so we've got our 2 base layers. I've taken some brown by Madame Glam. This is High Roller, and I've dispensed it out onto my little palette here. And we're just going to go in and we're going to use Blooming Effect Blossom Gel from DGel Beauty. It always throws me off because it's an LB on top, but it's DGel. Is it supposed to be like an IGB? I don't know. But anyway, I've never had a problem with this blooming gel before, and it actually is quite old. I think it's nearly like a year and a half old at this point. Still on the first bottle. I don't use it all that often. I do marble nails a lot, and whenever I do it, I use this blooming gel, but haven't gotten through the first bottle yet. So I will say that the blooming gel that we used in school were 2 different brands. I won't say the brands because I'm not going to disparage other companies, and it may not even be the issue with the brand. But I'm going to try using a dotting tool first because I think I'll get the most reliable straight lines for doing the center part of the crocodile. And we're just going to float it in a straight line. And you want to move relatively quickly because you want it to spread, but you don't want it to spread so much that they start bleeding into one another. And this is a long nail, so we may have some problems. But already I can tell you it's working as it's supposed to. This is not at all what happened in class today. Now we were using white on a pretty pale background, but what was happening was it was bleeding out so much that you were losing any semblance of a pattern. It was just disappearing. But so far, I am really happy with this. It seems to be doing what it should. The only thing I'm not sure is if you're supposed to do dots or if you're supposed to do more lines on the side. And you can see I didn't quite coat along the free edge, or the sidewalls rather, too well. But I'm just gonna pull it out a little bit and elongate those side lines. But that's fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and cure this. I did not look at any reference photos, which I probably should have before I went ahead and started this, but it seems to be, from what I've seen, how it's supposed to look. All right, so I have the first nail curing with the top coat. As I said, I didn't get full coverage with the Blossom Gel on along the cuticle line and the sidewall, so I'm going to endeavor to do better this time. I did take the opportunity while it was curing to look at some images, and the lines are definitely a little thicker, which I'm not sure if I can really get on such a long nail. I'll have to see. But also the dots on the side are in between the dots in the middle, so they kind of like stagger. So I'm going to redo it with that in mind. But I'm going to go ahead and get 2 coats on this once again, and then I'm going to go ahead and go for round 2. All right, so let's try this again. I'm using the largest dotting tool that I have, by the way, and I'm just going to drag it across the top. So I also wanted to mention that if you noticed with the last nail, we started out with a beautiful light pink, but with the use of the brown on top, it is tainting the color basically all over the nail. So if you're looking for really stark contrast, unfortunately you're not going to get it, because the gel is going to bleed through to the entire layer. And that's kind of the point. You're looking for the gel to bloom and create patterns. So as you can see along the side, it's a little bit more bled out, a little bit more muted, and it's darker, concentrated around the center. So we're gonna go in between the lines here. And that's really the point of it. You want that muted movement of color. Just want to try to get this to move a little bit more. So whenever you're using blooming gel, you want to make sure you have a lint-free wipe, because the color is going to collect, it's going to pool down at the sidewall. And this is whether you're doing natural nails on a client or if you're just doing it on tips. You want to pull some of that color off just by using a lint-free wipe. You don't want to use your finger because you don't want to get any uncured gel on your fingertips. So this is good. It is getting a little bit more blendy. Oh, shoot. In the center. Just try to touch that up because I've been swirling it around instead of doing straight lines. And I messed that up. So I'm gonna just try to do, I'm gonna cure this so that stops the motion. I'm gonna try to do just one straight line and maybe use a liner brush so that I have a straight line to pull and I'm not using something round where all the gel is going to pull off right away and not be on one side of the nail versus on the other. I was going to use this blunt one. I did trim it and cut down the tip because there was a loose hair. But I'm thinking maybe I will try a brush that's a little bit longer. All right, so we're going in with the brush this time. Going to apply the same amount of blooming gel. You just want a really thin layer. Shouldn't be too thick because you don't want to bulk up the nail. And also you don't want the gel to spread a ridiculous amount. You want to try to keep it contained. Making sure we get all the sides, cuticle line and the free edge. And now I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to coat it all the way around and just do straight lines. And you know what? I think the dotting tool does it better. Just gonna go over the old lines to reinforce. But I don't think I'm even going to continue with this nail. I'm going to wipe it and I'm going to go back to the dotting tool because this isn't at all what I'm looking for. Okay, so the brush is definitely out. Do I have a larger dotting tool? That is the question. I don't think I do. I'm using green. White is smaller. Yeah, this is the largest one. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more gel polish. I'm gonna put it on the plate. And we're just gonna try to do one straight line so that we don't get all the swirling of going back and forth over the same spot. So I'm not touching the nail. I'm only touching the surface of the blooming gel and I'm floating it across. All right, and now we're going to do the ones in the center. All right, so this is the best one so far. I'm gonna go ahead and cure that, and then we're gonna top coat it and take a look at all three. Okay, so these are the three nails that we have, and you can see the progression in technique from doing, well, first of all, not laying down the blooming gel properly, but also in dragging the color a little bit too close to the blooming gel, pressing down into the nail, versus going back and forth and kind of creating a swirling pattern, versus doing one definitive line in one direction, lifting off and just letting it be, and also not pressing too far down into the gel, just floating it across. The third one is definitely the most recognizable as a crocodile pattern or snakeskin or whatever we want to call it. So loving this one, but I do want to try it with the white because I don't know why it wasn't working in class today. Now, as I said, different products. I can't account for the blooming gel that we were using, can't account for the white gel polish that we were using. We did try gel paint. We also tried using regular varnish, laying it on top of the blooming gel, which created a really interesting pattern, but ultimately didn't work either. But I do want to see if I can get the white to work because I've seen it in other nails designs and I don't know why. And I've used it myself in marbling and it never dissipates the way that it did today. So it could have just been a really thin formula, but we'll have to see. And also, guys, sometimes you just have to work brand with brand. Sometimes different brands just don't like working with each other. But I am using two different brands, so who's to say ultimately? All you can do is practice and find what works and then just stick with it. So I'm just cleaning off my dotting tool. I'm taking my white and I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. Now these are the same tones that we were using in class, not exactly the same colors in terms of the background color, but same tonality. And it seems to be holding up quite well. Now I am scooping the color. I'm not dotting into it. I'm picking up a good amount on the dotting tool. Or at least that's what I'm doing now. I didn't start off with this nail doing that. I think I might need more white, which I've closed the bottle stupidly. It is obviously a lot more subtle. If you want to use white, you might want to use a darker background so it shows up more. But it is still visible, more so than it was on the nails earlier today. Let's see if we can get a little bit more there. All right, let's pick up some excess from the sides and then we're going to give this a cure. All right, so this is our white on peachy pink crocodile, and while I do like how it came out, I can't really see it too well, and I'm betting that you can't either. So I want to try something a little different. I want to do a French crocodile. Now this isn't a crocodile that speaks with an accent. It is a French tip with a crocodile design on it. So I've got my peach background curing right now with a matte top coat. Then I'm going to go in with the brown smile line, and then we're going to go over the brown with the white for the crocodile. We've got our nail and we've got our French accent. Now we're going to go in and we're going to lay in, what's it called again? The blooming gel. So I'm not gonna worry about being too exact and getting it up to the smile line, especially since I don't want it to go over. So I'm just going to paint it in where I'm going to be doing the crocodile print. Now I want to say the reason why I painted the nail first in matte top coat was because I didn't want the brown to bleed. Because gel polish has a tacky layer and it's going to pull that color, especially a darker color laying on top. You're going to get feathering and it's not going to be a clean line. So now that we've got our blooming gel, I'm going to once again go and take my dotting tool and I'm just going to do the same thing that I did on the neutral background. And this will obviously work a lot faster because it's smaller space to cover. All right, I'm not so happy with those dot points over here, so I'm going to try to lay in some more color. I'll let that bleed and settle a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go and cure that, and then we're going to finish up this nail. I'm trying to decide if I want to do an accent line around the smile line. All right, so I think I decided that I'm not going to do a smile line because I kind of already in effect have one with the border between the crocodile print and the French line. So I'm just topping it with shiny top coat and then we're going to finish up and wrap up this video. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. We've got our two, I'm not going to say unsuccessful, but less successful first two attempts, followed by our complete successes. I will say I definitely like the contrast of the dark on the light versus the light on the light. Obviously just pops more. And I really like the way the French turned out, although I'm thinking maybe I would like the dark on the light instead of light on the dark, and then I'd have to figure out maybe a neutral background, something a little bit more transparent or semi-transparent. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, as always. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. If you're new, welcome. Welcome to the family. Please subscribe. And as I said before, I would appreciate a like and hit that notification bell so that you know when new videos are available. If you have any questions as to the products or the techniques I used in this video, please let me know down below. Any suggestions for upcoming content, I would love to have them, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.